Well, hello. And the magic machine tells me that I'm live. And more importantly, there's an elephant in the room, and I'm going to talk about it. How's your colitis? Is it ulcerative? Hey, at least there's some action going on down there, right? Call this jokes. Listen, Walter Bosley's live, so I don't want to step on his action. I'll tell you why I don't want to step on his act. Tim Frey's here as well. Hello, hello. I'd cue the Henny Youngman music. That's not the reference. The Benny Hill music. Cultural stereotypes. At least I went with Benny Hill and not Golden Coin 100. 3 times a charm. Listen, folks. Saville. Why? Mario Heats. Change the subject. Catherine. Now it's a party. Listen, folks. Do you follow me on Patreon? If you do, you may know this already. If you don't, you're missing out. For as little as $1 a month. Well, it's not for as little as $1. It's about $1 a month. You can follow me on Patreon, and what's been going on is that I do a weekly live stream on Patreon, and I give it my all for less than minimum wage. I'm telling you, it's less than. I do the math. I precipitate on this stuff and the subject matter. This is an advertisement for the Patreon. This is what I've been doing on the Patreon is basically real-time research. I do I do it live. And oh, what a thing that I do. So what I'm going to tell you basically is the nutshell. And I'm going to tell you that what you should be doing is you should be putting down and joining me on Patreon. It's $1 a month. We grew up knowing that you don't get something for nothing. And then all of a sudden people started saying, oh, you're going to get something for nothing. But I'm going to tell you something. The Googles, the Netflix, these people, they were telling you that you were going to get something for nothing. But guess what? They were lying to everybody. Because what they were telling everybody, the would-be content creators, is trust us. Give everything away for free. Whore yourself out. Make a jackass out of yourself in front of everybody. Other people make a jackass out of themselves, waiting their turn to be sacrificed to the corn. And over time, trust us, it doesn't make any sense. It's pimp politics. Trust me, baby. Trust me, baby. Trust me, baby. This doesn't make any sense to you now. What you're going to do is you're going to have sex with all these random disgusting people that makes you want to abhor yourself, and you're going to give me all your money. But trust me, before you know it, we're all going to make it. Everybody's high on their own supply. The internet is not real, and you can't eat ones and zeros. But What you can do is wake up and smell the coffee. So systems, unsustainable systems can go along for a bit of time, but eventually they all break down. And not only will the first people that will break down are the actual the flesh and blood prostitutes. The people with half a brain will wake up first. But then eventually, I'm telling you, YouTube is going to go away. Twitter is going to go away. Facebook is going to go away. Everything that you've gotten for free, you don't get anything for nothing. Just like you paid for cable and you pay for your internet service, unless we go to some, like, I'm all for it. I don't know how it works, but like there's some post-capitalist model. If the post-capitalist model goes along, and folks, this artificial intelligence, if it replaces, first it replaces the workers and the makers and the doers and the whatever, eventually the artificial intelligence, I've said it, like, I mean, I'm not really against it. It's going to replace us. It's going to replace the observer. Because unlike us, it does not need to worry about the fact that, the internet's not real and you can't eat it, because it doesn't need to eat things, right? But anyway, that's just foreplay. But you don't need to be depressed about it. There's a solution. But the solution lies in part, now, listen, this may seem a bit icky. And I accept that. But if it does, just think about it as kicking it old school. Chili beans, welcome. Mutate, welcome as well. Listen, mutate, getting around to stuff, believe you me, I understand completely, baby. You're preaching to the choir. I've been meaning to get around to, getting my links together. Yeah, I'm honestly, honey, I've been meaning to get around to figuring out it's, good system for, trust me. Kicking it old school. There's a solution. And the solution is, look, know your value. Okay, my value is more than nothing. So that's why I've taken a stance on doing shit on Patreon. And taking these moments to advertise Patreon and tell you what's going on there. Things are going on there. I live stream once a week. The live streams have been on average about 3 fucking hours. I give it my all. I sing, I dance, I drag the chair around the room. I get excited. I'm pumping on all cylinders. I've put down the booze. We're 2 years off booze. But I'm now 2 months off the cannabinoids. I'm telling you, I'm firing on all cylinders. And I'm doing the research and I'm doing the shit live. Often to an audience of one. But the live streams are there for your pleasure to go through and watch at your leisure. If you kick in the amount of money for, if you do the math, if I'm doing like on 3 hours a week, you give $1 to a homeless guy, you walk on the street, man. Come on now. You know what I mean? I'm not asking for much. I get it. You're used to everything for nothing. You were sold an unsustainable bill of goods. All I'm asking you to do is stop smoking rock, right? Honestly, think about it, right? Stop smoking rock and accept the fact that, hey, if YouTube still monetized me and I could get your super chats, we wouldn't be going through this shit, but it is what it is. Mutate, the paranormal stuff, you ask anyone that's still on that if you want paranormal, honey, now is the time to get on the Patreon. Listen, I'm telling you. Honey, I am telling you. Give it a shot. Listen, you sign up for the Patreon. Give it a month. You don't like it? It's not like signing up for a magazine subscription. You cancel. You cancel. Jelly beans. There's no such thing as you listen, and I'm going to tell you something. There's streams, but they remain, folks. FYI, and in case you're curious, the recordings are there. Anyway, what you've missed if you weren't on Patreon so far is this. Look, I'm gonna give you the inside skinny, and then I'm gonna get out because we gotta look. I gotta give you look. We give you a taste. We tell you what's up. We tell you what we've been up to, and then we get back to what we're doing. Either we do, and I'm telling you, the output on Patreon is going to increase. I've been doing at least once a week on Patreon because that's what I was doing. I was like, oh, I have to do at least once a week on Patreon, and then we'll do a stream here. I'm not going to do other things. I mean, the RPG channel might get some love, but I'm telling you, know your value. And my value is more than nothing. I got to tell you, honey, I just, that's what I believe. Anyway, enough dancing about architecture. That's not an appropriate use of that thing. But Kerry Cassidy, a little while ago, shocked me when she acted as though she had new information about what had occurred that tragic day back in September. Talk about nostalgia loops. September 11th, 2001. Not quite 23 years ago. 23 skidoo. William S. Burroughs has got a message for you. She acted as though someone had come forward with new information regarding a missile hitting the Pentagon. Now, we all had heard rumors about and theories, alternative theories about what had happened on that fateful day. But the way that she acted, and I'll let you know that she's also what I could tell. I give a public service announcement to Kerry Cassidy. Kerry Cassidy, we've seen channels of hers go down. And I do believe she's at risk of having another channel go down because I'm not the best at keeping abreast of YouTube's terms of service, but I do believe that they've got a pretty solid rule about duplicative content, having the same video up twice at the same time. She's got identical content up because I was watching one of her videos, and this is actually the third time that she's uploaded an identical video. She recorded a video as a live stream. Then it looked to me as though she had another video that looked like it was commentary on her live stream. But then I listened to it. I was like, no, this is just the same thing that's been uploaded again. And that is risky. And then I see now, and I'll show you. She's got, look, here, I'll do a share screen here. This 9/11 whistleblower Colonel Don de Grand Prix, RE 9/11. Now I gotta tell you something. When we play this here, if I play this, I might not be able to hear this. Hold on.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kerry Cassidy from Project Camelot, and I am doing this as an experimental stream. I'm Kerry Cassidy.
Now I heard that when I heard that audio glitch, I knew that I had heard
back.
this exact thing before.
So
and I said to
at
myself,
any rate,
she's
I'm
uploading
do
an identical
a
live stream.
Here,
and they've got algorithms that can catch this. But I can tell you this.
9/11 colonel who was a member of the White Hats. He's actually passed on.
Now, this is what I'm going to talk about, what you've missed on Patreon. On Patreon, we did the research in real time to figure out who this guy, Colonel Don de Grand Prix. He passed away in 2006. She's going to act as though that we can finally talk about this information safely because the guy passed on. He passed on in 2006. He wrote these books back in the day. He was an also ran. He appeared like maybe 2 or 3 times on Alex Jones. And that's why I also want to bring this up again. We talk about mysticism, mutate. We've been doing cut-ups again on the Patreon and seeing how they affect the flow of time and how they affect things. And I'll also tell you this. I spontaneously started talking about Alex Jones and Alex Jones's lawsuits. And I will tell you this. Right after I started talking spontaneously about Alex Jones and Alex Jones's lawsuits, this incident happened where it turns out that when she finally revealed who this guy, Colonel Don Grand Prix was, who he was a guy that had previously his only claim to fame was he wrote these 2 or 3 wackadoo books. And in conspiracy circles, he had only appeared on Alex Jones's show, like only when it was like a radio show back in like 2003, 2004, like once or twice. And he was only noteworthy because of his name, Don de Grand Prix, like the Grand Prix. And he's also famous because it's kind of like an inside joke amongst info warriors. Because one time somebody called up and was like, hey, man, whatever happened to that guy, Colonel Don de Grand Prix? And Alex Jones is like, he died. And then he just moves on to another subject. And it's like an inside joke, like an Opie and Anthony style inside joke. Oh, he died. And they just move on. So Kerry Cassidy is having this big deal. Like someone came up. It's some rando from the audience contacted her who just read this guy's books and was like, I talked to this guy. And he's like this theory about a missile hitting the Pentagon. I thought it was ghoulish. And I pointed out when I talked about it was like Kerry Cassidy is acting like it's awesome that insiders of the military struck the Pentagon themselves. I said, that's a civil war. And you're acting like that's cool. That's ghoulish and horrendous. And she's saying this guy's a white hat. People only started using this term white hat like a year or 2 or 3 ago. So this guy wasn't a white hat. And by the way, the research that we did in real time, you could have watched me do in real time on Patreon, following this guy, Colonel Don de Grand Prix down. He's a rabid anti-Semite. And he quoted in his books the debunked KGB authored, like the predecessors to the KGB under the Tsar, the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. Now, I know that that's not going to cause waves in the modern conspiracy theory world, because we see that anti-Semitism is back in style. But that's the reality. Her landmark big find was her revelation of new information is some guy who wrote books back in the day who was not involved in the military in any significant way post leaving the military back in the 70s, finding Christ, turning into a rabid anti-Semite who still thought the Protocols of the Elders of Zion was an authentic document. It wasn't. And was one of these kooks who Alex Jones was relying upon for debunked information about 9/11. So congratulations. This is what we've come to, and it's completely divorced from reality. This is where we're at. This is like her belief that Juan O'Savin is a JFK Jr. as Donald Trump is circling the drain, right? Completely divorced from reality. And I don't say that to be insulting. I don't say that to demean or to degrade. I just merely make that to comment, to show people, hey, you want to think that there's some truth in this? You want to think that this is some amazing journalism at work here? Kerry Cassidy, you want to believe that you're a journalist? Vet your sources. Your sources brought you a person who had died in 2006. Oh, we can safely talk about this information now because he died. He died in 2006. And Alex Jones brought the world this guy's information back on the internet radio. And people have been, what, you're bringing us truth about, we can finally talk about conspiracy theories about missiles hitting the Pentagon on 9/11? That was 23 years ago. And who's talking about 9/11? And I got to tell you, it's like Cliff I talking about the jab on Twitter lately. There's no more ammunition that these guys have, right? We are not only post the failure of Donald Trump to get reelected, we're coming up on a new election cycle. I talk about, sometimes I think about it, and this is like, I don't want to step on Walter Bosley's parade. Walter Bosley's going to finally have me on his show. So we got that to look forward to. So anyway, that's what you missed on Patreon. I was doing real-time research and I started from scratch, be like, who is this guy? Who's Colonel Don Day Grand Prix? And we just go to Google and we just start following the things up. And what else did we find? Just on a laugh and a larf and a happy-go-lucky search upon the grand journey of life. Did you know that song, Fly Me to the Moon, is a gay love song? The guy that wrote Fly Me to the Moon, that was played by NASA, not once, but twice on the most important missions to the moon, once when they circled the moon and then when they landed there, was written by a gay man for his gay lover. And they were together for like 150 billion years. The guy that wrote Fly Me to the Moon died at 88 years old, survived by his life partner, the man he had written that song for, and his sister. That's what you're missing if you don't subscribe to me on Patreon, which you can do for as little as $1 a month. You can always give more, but that's what you can do with your money, honey. And you'll see me do real-time research like that. And what's cuckoo is, if you talk about mysticism and magic and you like that stuff, we're going into the mystic with these cut-ups. And one of the things that we've been following is the strange dates around people's birthdays and when they die. Now check this out. Bud Hopkins, famed UFO and alien abduction researcher and artist, died on August 21st, 2011. August 22nd is my birthday. Part of the reason that 8s and 22s are so important to me. 2011 was a very important year because it was the year my children were born. Twins. We're going to be talking about more stuff. When I saw and hung out with Walter Bosley in person, it was at Contact in the Desert 2019. CW Punky Station says that he found a 20-year nostalgia loop about emo influencers and musicians. You want to ask me questions, Claire? You got to do so on Patreon. I love you. I love you. I love you. It's Contact in the Desert 2019, folks. Don't want to jump ahead too many seasons, but we're going to be coming up on the 5th anniversary. That's half a fucking decade. Time, she flies, but fly she does. From the Egyptian Tarot, when the Tarot cards come out, you know Claire, no. He was at Contact in the Desert 2019 because that's where me and Walter Bosley sat, but 2 females apart from each other. The year he announced his hover car initiative. King of Chalices, King of Cups. I very much identify with this card. I very much identify with this card. One of this card, because it's the fiery part of water, you might say to yourself, these elements might cancel each other out. Well, like yin and yang, these elements can complement each other perfectly. But the emperors whose emotions run out of control can flood the land and cause great destruction. But a king with a heart who understands and feels and can work with emotion and understands the importance of addressing emotion and keeping their and others' emotions in check can do great things. So Kerry Cassidy had this video up. Let me stop sharing to the display a little bit more for you, so you see what I'm talking about.
So I feel that we're safe enough in disclosing the information that was
safe enough to disclose the information. He died in 2006. He died in 2006. Does she not know that?
Brought to me by a different party who has actually compiled some of this information for.
and we went through her compiling of this information. It was just like 4 or 5 bullet points that were basically, it sounded like someone spoke to the author of, you know, a yet another, you know, look, books about conspiracy theories about 9/11 and bankers of Bolshevik botulism and the communist Jews are taking it. This guy was a rabid anti-Semite. Guess what? Jews caused communism. That's what this guy's whole thing was. This Colonel Grand Dupree. There was a reason Alex Jones didn't have him on for long or many times. He was a toxic individual. Okay? As most of these people turn out to be. Harry Shearer, you know, does a lot of the great voices for The Simpsons, was involved in the great movie from 1984, Spinal Tap. 40-year nostalgia loop. No, actually, I think that's from 40-year nostalgia loop on Spinal Tap. Okay? One of the few individuals, until it's finally released this year, of The Clown Who Cried. Right? Harry Shearer said, Harry Shearer, who actually legitimately went to the Bohemian Grove as a guest. He states, why was he invited? Why was he invited to the Bohemian Grove? His story is, he said that they probably had a quota of, they needed X number of Jews every year. That's probably why he got invited. He gets invited to a lot of places. He got to see The Clown Who Cried. I mean, the guy gets in. God bless him. Eat at O's. If you know, you know. With the dress on, right? Transowl rights. There's more of this on Patreon. I'm telling you, you're gonna get 30 minutes. If you want the 3-hour special, if you want the unedited cut, if you want the solo, you gotta join me on Patreon. That's how it goes. You prostitutes. I'm the prostitute. Listen, it is what it is. Stop sharing. Now watch this. There's rules against duplicative content. Check this. Oh, Alex Jones. I talked about Alex Jones in relation to this guy Dupree. Right after I talked about Alex Jones, the news came out that the families voted to liquidate all his assets as part of the bankruptcy. He's going to go away. Claire, if you look in the description box below, there's links to the Patreon. Kid Rock said in a Joe Rogan interview he went to the Bohemian Grove and punched somebody. No way. Kerry Cassidy said, is loca. I remember one time she mentioned she was cool with the Anshar. Lol, so crazy. Who says that? Someone who's cool with the Anshar. I guess. But remember, she says a lot of things. Anyway, look here. Let's check out the duplicative content. Watch this. So we just saw that video. Now watch this. That was entitled 9/11 Whistleblower Colonel Don Day Grand Prix RE 9/11. Now we're going to go back to one that was 42 minutes and 46 seconds long. Now here's an earlier video that's 42 minutes and 6 seconds long, just 40 seconds shy, called Video Blog, White Hats Saving America. And you'll see something. I think you'll notice something right away. Hold on. Oh. Let me do this. Now watch me get foiled because it won't be the same video. No problem. Thank you. Boom.
About my latest article about this 9/11 colonel who was a member of the White Hats. He's actually passed on. So I feel that we're safe enough in disclosing the information that was brought to me by a different party who has actually compiled some of this information for you and the viewers, and also for me. And so I'm also going to see if we can take questions. I don't even know if that's possible here.
It's the exact same video. That's it. It's the exact same video. So whether she knows it or not, unless there's been some sort of change in the terms of service, I have seen this multiple times. You know, I'm not one of these YouTubers that there are people that, like, you know, they take the classes, they, like, you know, every time YouTube recommends to you, like, learn how to make your channel grow and 5 things about terms of service that you may not know, but you should know if you want to keep your, you know, your track to monetization growing. And one of the things has always been, you know, don't spam content and don't have duplicative content, which means, like, people that have multiple channels, don't take a video, like a cat video that you think is going to be viral, don't have the same video on multiple channels, or and especially don't have the same content on multiple times, posted multiple times to the same channel, because they don't want that. They that was used to be verboten. So I, you know, didn't look it up to fact check to see if that was still the case. But if that's still the case, then she could potentially have another channel of hers taken down. So I'm going to tell you this. I don't know if I'm going to do it. 6:46. I don't know if I'm going to go live stream. I might very well just go live stream. I don't know if I'm going to go live stream right now. I probably shot my load on this. I had a very, like, exciting day today. I got a lot done. I probably will live stream Friday. If there are new people that join me on Patreon, here's what I want to do. People that are on that follow me on Patreon, or the members of the Patreon, tell me. I do see the comments, so I don't always respond. Tell me when you would like me to live stream. And I'm not saying that I will be able to honor that request, but I'm saying I would, you know, take it into consideration. Also, feel free to tell me what you would like me to cover. Okay? I'll tumble for you to a degree. I'm not going to dance around the room, you know, dressed as a Care Bear for your lousy dollar. Not like lousy dollar, but you know what I mean? I'm not here to make an ass out of myself. I'm not here to totally prostitute myself. I'm here to partially prostitute myself. Okay? But just so you know, I'm still alive and well. I'm on Patreon. I think it's important that I, you know, that I honor my self-worth, and that I, you know, that I pay attention to the lessons that I've learned in the years that I've been on YouTube, which is that it doesn't seem to be worth it to just do it for nothing. And because I don't for a minute think that I'm going to be monetized anytime ever soon. So the things that I will be talking about the next time that I'm on Patreon will probably be about the endless botting that I think is truly in everything, and also probably a real deep dive on what's going on with Twitter, which is just insane. From everyone and their mother having a blue check mark now, which means the blue check marks are worthless, to basically, you also need to know and understand that a ton of more and more liberal people and progressive people and halfway progressive people have just, like, are in droves, are just no longer really participating in the Twitter space, because it's just become insanity. And Elon Musk has lost his brain. So we're probably going to be talking about things like really like the emperor has no clothes, like with the notion of people needing to wake up to the fact that a lot of people have put their hope, trust, and faith in people like Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And that was so just beyond foolish, because these people are not the people that they were purported to be. Okay. And that's been to the detriment of society as a whole, because people just invested, just like a ton of mental and actual capital in those projects. And now that those projects are not bearing fruit, that's wasted water and that's wasted air. And it's really problematic. And that's emblematic of a lot of things in our society, including this thing that I'm talking to you on now, this YouTube. YouTube is a failure. And there's a lot of things that you need to know and understand about, like, like there's a ton of things that people have really been pegging their dreams on, have been telling each other and telling the world are great successes that are not, like Netflix and YouTube and like these things, they don't do anything. They don't break even as far as being mechanisms for, selling advertisement. People will say, like, what are you talking about? They don't make money. It's like they're non-functional. And we have generations of people that have been doing this thing of, oh, we're going to trade and we're going to share and we're going to sell each other information. You know what I mean? We've gone down this terrible road. And people with the whole Bitcoin and cryptocurrency thing, within the space of, literally just like 15 years, you had people invest billions of dollars into something that in 15 years has proven to be a sinkhole of just a huge carbon burn. People installed ATM machines, reprogrammed coin sort machines, just to have to go back and resort them and reprogram them again. And if you follow and you actually pay attention to actual tech reporting, you'll realize that from day one, these statements about cryptocurrency and the blockchain were self-evidently fucking false. It's absolutely secure, so your transactions can't be lost. Oh, but it's anonymous, so the transactions can't be followed. Those are contradictory statements. Oh, the hashtag can never be broken, but we're solving these problems to make sure that's how the hashtag is verified. And absolutely incredibly intelligent people were backing it. You know why? Because people can be extremely intelligent on one vector and be completely brain dead on another. That's how the Nazis happened. Complete countries can go absolutely fucking insane. Right? Like Oppenheimer. A very, very intelligent man looks and sees a fucking nuclear bomb go that he helped do and says, I have become Shiva, destroyer of worlds. And you didn't realize that in the months and the weeks and the days and the seconds and the hours leading up to that magic moment, that that's where you were fucking headed? That that's what was going to fucking happen and go down? What are you going to do? But don't get depressed, because we're all along for a magical ride. And if you want to be fully on the ride, this ride, step right in, folks. Just $1, just $1, just $1 a month buys you at least one issue a month. You might even catch it live. Sometimes on Fridays, sometimes on other days. And rumor has it that if the CW stays sober, there's gonna be bonus content. What do you think's gonna happen, folks? What do you think's gonna happen on the Patreon? Only if you join will you know. Only if you join will you have the opportunity of maybe catching one live. Will it be you? Will you be there when he finds out the magical sequences that drive him crazy and makes him drag a chair around the room in amazement? Yes, folks, you heard it here, folks. They'll tell you. Ask the people in the live chat, they'll tell you the truth. He gets so excited, folks, when a synchronicity hits, when a magical doorknob rings, or he sees that the birthday fell on a magical day that coincided with the time they lost his virginity to that girl that he met in the village square. He goes crazy. He drags the chairs around the room. He goes nuts, he says. He gets so excited. It's true. I wouldn't lie to you. A dirty little secret. If you can't afford it, and you follow me on Twitter, and you see, one of the preview clips go up or whatever, one of the things that seems like something you're really, really interested in, but you don't have two dicks to rub together, private eyes, they're fucking you. Send me a DM. And I'll laugh at you for your... No, come on. You know what I'm saying I'll do. Listen, I love you. I love you. I love you. If nobody told they loved you today, someone just did. That's somebody's CW chanter. Because I'm a manipulative, love-bombing, guru bastard, the son of a bitch who tells you that he loves you. What the fuck is that? I started saying it became the thing that I said. 50 minutes I give you. For free, I give you this. And yet you can't join the pay. If you look in the thing below, I also have a PayPal. Dancing for donuts. Folks, I could be doing something else, but instead I'm here doing this for you. I feel like I could be, and hold on. Let me see if I got it. So we've been doing these cut-ups. And we've been speculating that the cut-ups may have some effect. We don't know. We don't know. We wonder. And if you want to know the truth, if you want to follow the whole thing, the whole shenanigans, you gotta go to the Patreon. But I'll read you the last one once. I read it 3 times on Patreon at the end of the last Patreon. So this is the third cut up that we've done. It features a name you might recognize. Now, cut ups are what cut ups are. So, they don't always make perfect sense. I'm only going to read it once. Before I read it, I'm going to quote a song by Gene Loves Jezebel. I'm done shaving my neck for maximum effect. Here's the cut up. Howard wrote the song for his partner, the producer of the cartoon The Simpsons. In the United States Army, retired from the them, you don't realize it fully until it smacks rock star. And for his part, in the vets that vowed to never again let politicians you in the face, fly me 2-2 Leo Grand Prix. And May Arneson, Grand Prix on February 20th, 1926. He served his country of 58 years. Thomas Fowler. A thin line between loving someone and enabling the moon, Frank Sinatra's. 1964 version was closely to Sam Sam. Sailor Moon. Live Like a Put Them in a Position of Fighting, a authored 7 books. Todd Michael Schultz is associated with the Apollo missions to the moon. He said the real military consisted of retired Mr. Grand Prix. Was born in Overly, North Dakota for animated theme songs, including but not limited, and active officers, most of which were Vietnam. Also the son of Bill Schultz, who was Defense Department. Was active in real estate and lost cause war for political purposes. There's a composer and pop singer who is known pop ballad You Believed in Me. Schultz is. Until next time, I'm Bill Bixby.